morning. ASU strike, Unilag speaks on resumption. ASU strike, federal government should have used $23 million Abacha loot to meet our demands. Lecturers, 2022 floods kill 115 Nigerians, affect over 500,000 others. Katsina government buys 10 armored vehicles to boost war against bandits. Don't blame politicians. Office of Accountant General. Others are the problem. Lawmaker tells Nigerians. Bishop Kuka misunderstood because he speaks truth to power. Atiku and also ex-police spokesman in Rivers, Nnamdi Omoni, dies few days after celebrating birthday. A Bubiagu militia allegedly invade Anambra community, attempt to kill youth chairman, increasing debt not solution to Nigeria's indebtedness. Atiku to federal government. NUC to meet education minister. VCs over to strike. Stolen crude oil found in churches, mosques, NNPC. Enugu government closes on approved private schools operating. And organ harvesting. Don't release biodata to Ekweremadu. London court alleged victim. Also, 2023, Wike flogged Atiku Shekarau by saying they are coming back to loot FFK. Ifa, not Oyomesi, will pick next Alafin Bashornu. Just two more before we look at another paper. War. Extent of progress in Ukraine's southern offensive unclear. Britain and again, court denies Abba Kyari bill.
All right, from Daily Trust newspaper article, our economy in deeper trouble than APC willing to admit. How Kano traders lost 200 million naira textile, 300 shops to market flood. London Palace, diplomats orders lash at Wike Tinubu. Article orders. How Kano traders lost 200 million naira, or rather already taken. Insecurity, Masari procures 10 new APCs for security agencies. Reps film as OAGF Energy Commission differ on remittance. 2023, no rift between Tinubu, Adamu APC. Tinubu Shetima APC governor storm Jonathan's residence. Another one here, many trapped as building collapses in Kano market. NNPC CEO, Nigeria will stop importation of oil by 2023. NCAA threatens to ground airlines over 19 billion naira, $7.6 million debt. 4 days heavy rain expected in FCT 5 states. That's from 9 Met. Another one here, Nigeria to attain 95% digital literacy by 2030. Pantami, youth petition NNPP seek Nkuyi's replacement. Do we have more here from Daily Trust? Let me take two before we go to another paper. 40 years after, Lagos Airport's new terminal changes travel experience. And Fiscal Commission urges PD amendment of Act.
All right, from the Punch newspaper, 6,068 Nigerian doctors move to UK under Buhari. Vatican clarifies Pope's stance on Ukraine. Indefinite strike. Federal government summons varsity councils. Vice chancellors, aspirants grumble. More from the Punch newspaper. Lagos government replies Falano says parking fees constitutional. Nigerians will appreciate my government soon, says Buhari. Lawyer seeks PDP's re-registration over 260 million naira debt. Zamfara orders 7,000 guns for community guards. Group knocks Nigerian politicians over UK meeting. Ensure PDP wins in Kaduna. Wike tells McCarthy. Akwa Ibom nullifies 20 billion naira damages. Igboho heads to Supreme Court. Ogun will fix Sango-Ota Akute Road before December. Abiodun Ekweremadu rescind decision on biodata. Victim tells court. Katsina confirms 4 monkeypox, 53 cholera cases. Just a few more before we look at another paper. Court denies Kyari bill. Trial begins October. Lagos begins regulations of borehole drilling. And 32% of Nigerian hospitals lack sanitary services. That's according to a report. And the last one here, shooting exercise. Soldiers' bullets damage Ibadan buildings.
All right, from Premium Times, why we awarded multi-billion-naira pipeline protection contract to Tempolo, NNPC. Some more here, Nigeria losing 95% oil production at Bonny Terminal to theft. Carry. 2 teenagers die in Jigawa boat mishap. Buhari to APC governors, I won't interfere in 2023 elections. Nigeria threatens to shut down domestic airlines over debt, gives 30-day deadline Ebonyi to inaugurate council officials despite court nullifying the elections. NNPC in locked pact to supply Dangote refinery crude oil for 20 years. Foreign meetings by Nigerian politicians clownish, focused on allocating political positions. A reps panel queries Office of Accountant General of Federation of over discrepancies in remittances by MDAs. Half of world's health facilities lack basic hygiene services. An oil theft NNPCL raises alarm over involvement of communities, religious groups, security agencies.
All right, from the Vanguard newspaper, it is quiet in PDP over Wike's preferred candidate remarks. 2023 Enugu APC on verge of collapse. Nnamani Chime Oyama cry out. And Abia people yearn for positive change we can bring. Nwafo, that's YPP Guba candidate. Immunization, 64% of Nigerian children risk childhood killer diseases. Survey. ASU, government to reopen universities, calls meeting of pro-chancellors and VCs. Federal government engaging foreign countries to deal decisively with insecurity. Lai Mohammed, and the last one from here, why I fell under anointing in church. Funke Akindele.
We go on our first commercial break.
Oníbàárà mi, ẹ jẹ́ fún mi ní golden penny 400-gram midi pack. Spaghetti ni àwọn ọmọ mi fẹ́ jẹ ní alẹ́ yìí.
Mama Bisi, èwo tún ni 400-gram midi pack.
Èyí ni tuntun tí a gbé dé golden penny pasta 400-gram midi pack pẹ̀lú àmì ìdáyàtọ̀ kan náà golden penny pasta jẹ gbádùn rẹ̀ lọ́nà tó ń wọ̀.
Win big in the Techno Special Sales Promo. Solar inverters for 2 lucky winners and back-to-school gift bags, including laptops, will be won by 10 people. Simply buy any Techno Camon 19 or Spark 9 smartphone models and get a raffle ticket to qualify for the grand prize draws. Also, enjoy discounts up to 15,000 naira on select Techno smartphones and instant gifts upon purchase. Promo runs till 30th September. Visit at Techno Mobile NG on social media for more info. T's and C's apply. Techno. Stop at nothing.
Power oil, power oil. Bunga cooking oil, we get different sizes and different packs. Power oil, power oil. The one way they sweet me now mini pack 400 naira. Yeah. Power oil, power oil. Everywhere. Power oil, good for your heart. Power oil, cholesterol. Power oil, no trans fat. Power oil. And people who listen to your heart use power oil. Power oil, power oil.
Hello Bayo, ojú ọ̀nà márosẹ̀ yẹn ni mo wà.
Dákun tó láti tẹ̀síwájú pẹ̀lú pé yìí.
Rárá o, kò jẹ́jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Kí ni ìdí?
Ìpè yìí ṣe pàtàkì gan-an ni.
Ó bá ti rìsáàjì ń gbà náà.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ṣùgbọ́n mi ò sí níbi tí mo ti lè rìsáàjì báyìí.
Ó ṣe kúkú yáwó òpè lẹ́ǹkan.
Yáwó ìpè báwo?
Pẹ̀lú Glow Borrow Me Credit, o lè yáwó òpè kó o sì san padà lẹ́yìn náà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ló rọrùn. Ìwọ sá ti pè *321# kó o sì jẹ́ láṣẹ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Lóòótọ́, ó ti lọ wà jù.
Glow ń dúró ti ni nígbà tó jà jùlọ.
Báyọ̀, bí mo ṣe ń sọ lọ, ọkọ̀ mi dẹnu kọlẹ̀ níbi.
Sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí sanwó lẹ́yìn náà pẹ̀lú Glow Borrow Me Credit. Glow Unlimited.
Tolú, báwo ni ìrìnàjò ẹ̀? Ilẹ̀ Haúsá dùn. Mo jẹ oúnjẹ kan tó ń pè ní dambu ìṣèkáfá níbẹ̀. Ọ̀rẹ́, adùn àti tasọ́sàn ẹ̀ lárinrin.
Oúnjẹ ti délẹ̀ o.
Láìdé, oúnjẹ yẹn náà ló ṣe. Ó tún dùn jù yẹn lọ. Báwo ló ṣe sè é?
Ìsebẹ̀ ọ̀ngà. Òun ni ìsebẹ̀ tó o nílò fádùn àti tasọ́sàn tó lélẹ̀. Dùn àwọn tó fẹ́ràn nínú pẹ̀lú oúnjẹ aládùn nínú ilé rẹ̀.
Onga, Mama's helping hand.
Welcome back from the commercial break. It's 32 FM 94.9 Breakadon Newspaper Review, reaching you live, and we are located on the 4th floor, Cocoa House, Dubai. It's a rainy Wednesday morning. Again, Austin Idumu joins us on the program. Good morning to you, Austin Idumu.
Good morning, Tayo.
By the way,
good morning.
Morning, Austin.
All right, and I'm OLUTAYO, OGUNADE.
And my name is DELE Adeyanju once again. Yes, Austin, is there any respite coming the way of ASU soon?
Of course, from all education, no. That's just the latest on the issue of ASU. ASU meant, the strike so far has been a rollover method wherein they will embark on 4 weeks extension After that expiration, they went back on another one. But officially, the strike has slipped into an indefinite strike, which, from all indication, the government shouldn't have allowed that to happen. Because I don't want to believe that the situation has become so unresolvable to the extent that we can't be able to meet. Even the ASU president came out to say that there's this element of deception from those on the side of the government, that the Minister of Labour, Minister of Education, that the president himself should assemble some trusted people to meet with them. He even went further to say that that was the strategy former President Goodluck Jonathan deployed at that time when ASU strike was also becoming protracted at that particular point in time during his administration. So for me, I think the government is not really sincere. The government is not serious. ASU have their own issue. However, when it comes to the issue of funding of education, I think the government should be more realistic. The government should be more serious. I don't want to believe or assume that ASU's situation is a problem that cannot be solved. I don't want to agree.
Some lecturers are saying that the $23,000 return loot should be used to tackle ASU once and for all, since they never need to also actually coming even before now.
Yes, so many things are also involved if you look at that. The statement was credited to ASU president. I don't know the demand of ASU. Is it just about their entitlement or the revitalization? Because the last time we checked, it was in the region of 1.1 or 1.2 trillion. The repatriation is just 23 million US dollar. If you use official exchange rate, that is still less than 12 billion in naira. I don't know whether that amount can meet ASU's demand. And also, MOU was just signed. I don't think the money has gotten into the coffers of the government. You understand? Whether the fund actually has been repatriated. MOU has been signed for onward repatriation. You understand? So the federal government can use part of this money or use this money as part of some other fund to meet ASU demand. I don't want to also assume like the ASU president is making us to believe that once you put this 23 million US dollar into ASU issue, that will solve the entire problem. Except the earlier report we got on 1.1 or 1.2 trillion is no longer what is obtainable.
No, does that mean that if the federal government decides to sort ASU out in phases, like do a part now, do a part maybe in the next 6 months, lecturers will not resume?
Lecturers will resume. There is no sincere commitment on the part of the government yet. You can't expect the government to cough out all the funds at the same time. During the period of Goodluck Jonathan, this issue also came to the fore. About 1.2 trillion at that time. The government at that time decided to meet the demand in phases, quarterly. Unfortunately, the administration only released one tranche, which was 200 billion at that particular point in time. If we have been able to sustain that, perhaps due to paucity of funds, if you promise 2 billion out of 1.2 billion, that would take like 6 quarters, for example. And if that is going to be the case, due to paucity of funds, the government can reduce the obligation, 100 billion. But the bottom line majorly is that let something be going in the direction of the revitalization of the university.
What is the influence the coming election is going to play on this ASU role? Is it going to play a positive one or a negative one?
Well, if you look at what the election could, I think majorly the people will determine that. At times you see us going into an election with major sector in the economy going on strike. You know, people want to get the last or get their share of the outgoing government because they don't know what the election holds. A lot of people will use it against the incumbent government. That is why I'm of the opinion that the government should look for a way to resolve the crisis. I don't want to believe, like I said earlier, that this crisis is something that cannot be resolved. But the government need to show cost, need to show commitment. This is the whole amount that is required to meet all the need. This is what we currently have due to the shrink in the economy. Then you get the understanding and begin to meet it. I don't also think that ASU members too want the government to cough out the money at a go. We shouldn't have gotten to this level. 6 months down the line, we are talking about a definite strike. The federal government is just summoning university councils and what have you. What have they been doing? That's the challenge.
All right, let's move away from that story. Buhari to APC governors. I won't interfere in 2023 elections. Let me quote him here. We all witnessed what happened in Anambra, Ekiti, and Osun states. What happened in those states gives me a lot of hope that we are succeeding, Mr. Buhari said. On this one, you can believe the president.
Yes, I think so. Let's give it to him. Unlike some other time where the city president will influence the election outcome. Well, technology has been deployed, and that is really working, where the party of Mr. President will even lose the election, and shortly after the announcement of the results, less than 24 hours, the president will also send a congratulatory message to the winner of such an election. I think when we sufficiently deploy technology for our election, power gradually will begin to return to the people. And by the time people have that power, election or elective offices is not going to be by fiat again. If you are a governor and you refuse to do well, the people can decide to punish you through the electoral process because they know that their vote will count. So I'm also delighted that the president has said this, telling the APC governors that, see, go back to your state, go and sit tight. We have deployed technology. There's nothing I can do about it. Go and work for the people so that the people can also give you their mandates through the election. Of course, we have had a president who does not believe, maybe in recent time, that the election should be do or die affair. Because we have seen a president in Nigeria that said election is about do or die affair. So it's becoming better by the day. Technology was deployed, first of all, in Anambra, in Ondo, in Anambra, in Edo, in Osun, in Ekiti.
But looking at the size, come 2023, I mean, we're looking at the entire country, Nigeria. Can INEC, effectively conduct that election? Looking at, the resources that they will need to deploy, the manpower, and every other thing needed to have an effective, a successful election.
Yes, I believe in INEC. INEC, in a major election, for example, especially national election, INEC tend to get more people in terms of recruitment, ad hoc staff, and what have you, manpower. But let us not forget, too, that how credible the election will be does not entirely depend on INEC. We have other critical stakeholders, like politicians, most especially, who should play the game according to the rule. Then security operative, who are to provide and create an enabling security environment, friendly environment for INEC to operate. So in my view, I believe INEC has expressed readiness in that election. It is the government that should work on security. See, when you deploy technology, the stress becomes lesser. That's just the truth. We have said this before. When you deploy technology, you reduce the level of human interference. Right. And when that is achieved, we will begin to look at the credibility of our election. So I believe and I have confidence in INEC, but the government really need to do a lot of work in terms of making the environment conducive, providing security for INEC and Nigerians at large.
All right, we have some figures here which reveal that oil thieves take up 95% of Nigeria's oil production. And another headline here from Premium Times, oil theft. NNPCL raises alarm over involvement of communities, religious groups, security agencies.
Yes, in the Bonny terminal, for example, out of 100% production, oil theft takes away 95%. That is huge, which means that if nothing is done frontally to address that situation, the economy might be grounded at any point in time. Because if you look at it, like we said the other time, oil theft is not a business of the common man. The big guys in government, they know about this. This theft that we are talking about. So let the government take audacious steps to handle this situation. Then the NNPC boss has come out to say that churches, mosques, worship centers, they aid and abet vandals and oil thieves. How do we substantiate that? I think you need to show cause. It is not just enough to cast a blanket aspersion on innocent people. If you have evidence, and the NFPC GMD has said that in the days ahead, he quoted the number of people that will be arrested. In my view, that is not good enough. It should have been that, as I speak to you, so number of people have been arrested. I don't know whether you get the logic, DELE. You understand? It should be, oh, you are saying that in the next few days, we are going to arrest so number of people. It should have been that for the period under review, so number of people have so far been arrested. That is the way it should be. On the issue of worship center community, no doubt about it. I have said it times without number. Even some of the proceeds of crime in our society ends up in our worship center at the end of the day, because people also want to be big boys. Because if we set it straight from there, some of the vices in the society will reduce. So the NNPC boss need to show cause. The issue of oil theft need to be addressed by the government. It just look as if our common heritage, yes, it's been taken away through oil theft. Who are these people? Where is their market? Who is buying it from them? How do they ferry it out of the shores of the country? That is why I said those powerful people in government, they are involved in this mega enterprise.
All right.
So it has to be busted.
In other news, the Punch newspaper reports this morning that no fewer than 6,068 medical doctors have moved to the United Kingdom since the regime of the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired. And according to data obtained from the General Medical Council of the UK, the total number of Nigerian trained doctors who migrated to the UK as of August 30, that's yesterday, stood at 10,096. Nigerian doctors who got medical qualifications in schools outside the country are not included in this data.
So if you include those ones, it's going to be way above this figure that we get. That report is so far, because as I speak to you now, so many people are still living. People are getting their visas on a daily basis. That's just the truth. Why? Because the environment here is not conducive. You know, the other day we talk about government funding of especially medical intervention, how medical doctors get qualified in Nigeria. There is stake of the government in it. We have a friend from Oyo who is always of the opinion that there should be an agreement, you understand, that within so time, you are not permitted to leave the country. In every agreement too, there is also a caveat. What if the environment want to choke me? You want me to continue to stay because of one agreement or the other? You understand? So the bottom line majorly is that the government of Nigeria have not been purposeful enough in terms of addressing the health challenges in the country. A lot of people are leaving. Health workers are leaving. Medical doctors are leaving. We may not know the impact of this migration today until about maybe say another 10 years.
And now ASU has been on strike.
ASU has been on strike.
There is no replacement.
There is no replacement for. So education, I think the government is all out to destroy education and health in the country. That is the issue. So we have to address it. It is not about why are they living. The government must create an enabling environment. And the fear is this. It's a major threat. National emergency for that matter. A time may come in the history of this country where you have your money and you cannot access medical services. That is the implication. No doctor want to stay in Nigeria any longer. By extension, not too many people want to stay in Nigeria. Those who are still here is because their visas have not come. It's because they have not been able to get it through yet. Everybody, especially the masses, they have plan B on how to leave this country. I think the only people that will say, oh, I'm not going to leave Nigeria, maybe those who are getting money from government or those who are politicians who are waiting
getting money from government in
getting money from government as in free fund from the government, benefiting from the government.
We're talking about getting salary from government. Especially medical doctors don't stay.
See, the politicians' children, politicians' family, they don't also keep their own family in Nigeria because they know that the environment is so stark.
But we can't all leave the country, or Senator. But it looks to us that there's an attempt, a deliberate attempt, to terrorize us to submission. We can't vacate this country to evil people.
Tayo, we can't all leave this country, but the country is killing. The economy is killing. The security is killing. The other time we did an analysis that the cost of air travel is still the cheapest, quote and unquote, however expensive. That if you want to travel from Abuja to Lagos through air, maybe 150,000 on the high side. But if you want to go from Abuja to Lagos by road, you know, you may not determine the cost of transportation, except you do not run into the hands of kidnapper. And the cost you are likely to pay depends on the category and the caliber of your kidnapper. It can be 5 million, it can be 10 million, it can be 20 million, as the case may be. So this is the issue. You know, medical doctors, their services is being valued in the Western world. That is why government should have taken major steps to retain them by way of making the environment conducive for them. We are talking about security. We are not even talking about welfare.
We
are
really
not even talking about hospital environment.
The implication of this, all right? Because if we have proper planning, that tells us that in the next 5 to 10 years, all right, people will want to access basic health care, but there won't be people to. So that will spike the number of deaths.
That's the issue.
Mortality rate will go up because people. This is how to plan in it, but do we know?
The major problem we have is that we have a government that does not have foresight. When we say we have a government, let's clarify it. We are not talking about President Muhammadu Buhari government alone, because the problem has been successive. Yeah. That's the truth.
Like this ASU strike has been there for.
It has been
long.
there. It's only that whatever problem Buhari government inherited, he made worse. He made worse. You know, that is just the issue. It's not just that some of these problems started under Buhari administration.
Well, quickly before we go on our next break, because we have just one more minute now. Super Corp has been denied bail again.
Yes, according to the law, he should be given bail, but you have to argue and show cause. If there are reasons why the court feels that bail is not ripe yet, of course, they have to substantiate that it's not just someone that you should allow to just go home just like that. 2 days ago, the federal high court in Abuja had to dismiss the extradition order brought about by the office of the Attorney General of the Federation, that since he has a case to answer and the same office put him under trial through the NDLEA, so he should face charges until discharged and acquitted or otherwise. He can't be extradited out of the country to face trial. So if he has been denied bail, well, let's see how it goes. In the days ahead, he could also be given bail. But like I've always said in the case of Abba Kyari, you know, it is the system that created Abba Kyari. We have so many Abba Kyari still in the system. It's a syndicate between serving and retired senior police officers. You understand? Abba Kyari cannot muzzle that effrontery to carry out arbitrarily abuses of office with high level of impunity without some serious backing.
It was planted and trained.
Yes.
To carry on.
And don't forget, we also have filler, strong one for that matter, that Abba Kyari is just like an IGP in the making.
All right.
If not for the fact that his time was up.
We need to go on a second commercial break now. Nigerians will appreciate the APC-led government in 6 months. That's according to Mr. President. We have a contribution.
6 months from now.
Yeah, after this commercial break.
Today is 31st of August.
Okay.
Win big in the Techno Special Sales Promo. Solar inverters for 2 lucky winners and back-to-school gift packs, including laptops, will be won by 10 people. Simply buy any Techno Camon 19 or Spark 9 smartphone models and get a raffle ticket to qualify for the grand prize draws. Also, enjoy discounts up to 15,000 naira on select Techno smartphones and instant gifts upon purchase. Promo runs till 30th September. Visit at Techno Mobile NG on social media for more info. T's and C's apply. Techno. Stop at nothing.
Tell me, and I forget. Teach me, and I remember. Involve me, and I learn. At Adeya Montessori School, a full Montessori-based learning, we offer creche, preschool, primary, Islamia, ICT, and club activities like taekwondo, STEM and chess, and Arabic speaking into our curriculum. We also offer intensive Tafiz class for our grade 6 pupils, executive Arabic and Tafiz courses for non-pupils from age 12 and above every Saturday and Sunday. We boast of modern facilities that include AC-fitted classrooms, well-equipped laboratory, school bus, and a very conducive learning environment. Located beside NASFAT at Rubiewe area, Olodo Garage, Iwo Road, Ibadan. For more inquiries, please call 0807 976 6666.
Power oil, power oil. Ogunade cooking oil, we get different sizes and different packs. Oh, power oil, power oil. The one way they sweet me na mini pack, 400 naira. Yeah. Power oil, power oil. They everywhere. Power oil, good for your heart. Power oil, no cholesterol. Power oil, no trans fat. Power oil. And people who listen to your heart use power oil. Power oil, power oil. Power oil.
Our friend Oliver is what you call a man with a huge appetite. Gigantic, actually. And if there's one phrase we have come to know Oliver for, it is this.
More data, please.
No matter what we offer him.
More data, please.
So, guess what we did? We heard Glow created new data plans for people like Oliver, and we got him exactly that. And guess what Oliver said?
Excuse me, please, is this all for me? Only me?
Now, Oliver certainly has more than enough data. All thanks to the Glow Mega Data Plans.
With the longer validity you get on Glow Mega Data Plans, you can work from home with ease, run your business better, download non-stop, stream music and movies endlessly, learn online, and share data with anyone. No worries. Get 225 gigabytes at 30,000 naira for 30 days, 425 gigabytes at 50,000 naira for 90 days, and 1 terabyte at 100,000 naira for a year. Dial star 777 hash now to start enjoying these mega plans.
Glow Unlimited. Who is this one? Why are all these women always like this? What sort of nonsense is this? See, I will hit you if you don't.
Oga, will you keep quiet? Yes, I mean it. Keep quiet. Why are you transferring aggression on these innocent street sweepers? People paid very little by the government to sweep the streets, hustling people, doing menial jobs to make life easy for you and I, people that we should be hailing and pampering. Or don't you know it takes some level of commitment to do this kind of job? Some motorists drive like they want to break their legs. Some bikes will almost climb their heads. And keke drivers act as if they are invisible. You people should fear God, though. Stop disrespecting our road sweepers. Once you sight them from afar, slow down and drive responsibly. In fact, it's not out of place if we can be generous to them. Do you know any sweeper in your neighborhood that deserves to be specially appreciated? Send such sweeper's name, locality, and picture to 0906 2000 949. 0906 2000 949. 32 FM is beseeching us. Let's protect the sweepers.
Welcome back. 32FM 949 Ibadan. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. 32FM 949 on Facebook. 32FM 949 Ibadan on YouTube also. We are taking messages shortly, but before then, Buhari said something that APC government should be.
That Nigerians will appreciate APC-led government in 6 months.
But Jonathan said the other time that after PDP leaves office, then Nigerians will appreciate the PDP government.
He said he was the most abused at that time. That at the end of leaving office, he will be most celebrated.
Let's not leave this out too. This particular story, DELE.
Appeal court nullifies 20 billion naira cost awarded against SSS. That's on Igbo case.
Yes, on the Igbo case, the
Hello?
judge. Okay.
Hello, DELE.
Hello, morning.
I didn't hear you. I know this is from you. The medical doctors. State and federal governments are training them. They are getting that out of country. If they know that the environment is not conducive, they should use their own money to train themselves. That's number one. Number two, thank God some state universities are being opt out of ASU strike. Tayo, please, I want to give you 3 examples. Students in the University of Ilorin, they are about defending their project. It's final year students. Just 24 hours before ASU strike, they have not done anything in that time today. There's a PhD holder, a PhD that was defending thesis at your back in Awolowo. They have started the thing. They ask people to go and disrupt this defense. As you guys talk about that, the same thing. They now said they want to get money that they have been working during these 6 months. Until have a nice time. God bless you.
Thank you. Also, we get your reaction to that Igbo story.
Yes, that Igbo story. A 20 billion cost was awarded against the DSS, being the cause of exemplary and aggravated damages on the invasion of Igbo home. Don't forget, in the earlier suit filed by Igbo, it was 5.5 billion. He claimed. The court gave him 20 billion. The appeal court is saying that, number one, the High Court lacked the jurisdiction, and secondly, the cost of damages
awarded
was too outrageous. That the judge also awarded that based on his discretion, his preferences. I hope this case will get to the Supreme Court. Let's see how it goes at the end of the day. But the invasion of his home was illegal.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Austin, good morning. This is okay. I have always said that they are trying to whip us to submission, and literally they seem to be achieving it. And Austin, there is one particular thing I tend to want to ask us. From this part of the world, do we really have genuine statistics? Do we really keep data? Because some of these data will turn out. Sometimes you begin to wonder, you question if it is real or true. Because I know in this part of the world, one, apologies, we don't keep records. Two, we just say what we feel it is. Some of the data they are turning out, let's use the GMD of NNPC. There is something you didn't add to, because they just told us of the magic that Dangote will be doing by 2023. Those are, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know what to believe. Because the reality of it is, they have whipped all of us to submission now. So all they now want is, we should just do anything they say, we should just accept it. Come on.
Thank you. Mary Carrier said most of stolen crude oil found in churches, mosques. That's the GMD NNPC they're talking. Hello. This is not...
On Facebook, Suleiman Sharif said, we are proud to have 200% equity share in Dangote Refinery. What a shame from the GMD of the NNPC in the last 7 years. Many economic sabotage on the system. Now election promises commence just like one refinery per year.
Austin, how can Nigeria effectively police, her oil pipelines, as in providing surveillance now?
Yes, it's a combination of both deployment of technology and human factor, which is personnel. I think the NNPC has signed a pipeline surveillance contract with a company in the Niger Delta, which Tompolo has interest. I think 4 billion naira per day or per month to secure the pipeline. That is a very good initiative. The Jonathan administration did that, and it was truncated by the Buhari administration. If we engage the indigenous people in the Niger Delta, it can also go a long way for protection.
I'm John Njaku. Thank you. I'm interested in the whole case. Unfortunately, the appeal court said that the lower court lacks jurisdiction, and at the same time condemning the amount is awarded. So where do we stand? Is it the jurisdiction or the amount is so awarded? I will advise the council to immediately approach the Supreme Court. Then I believe the president, on the 2023 general election, the president will be neutral. I see that in him. I also believe that INEC will do a thorough job. However, those resident electoral commissioners, known to be carry members of political parties, also to be disengaged, as they are likely going to be biased in carrying out their function. People must reap the fruit of their voting. I equally heard that the president said the Nigerian will appreciate is the APC. That appears to be a cause, and God forbid, affliction will not happen a second time to this nation. John is London.
Thank you, John. 0809 7000 949 0705 5000. 949.
Okay, General Babatunde writes, if Buhari is ready to solve the ASU crisis, he has what it takes. He already renegotiated the agreement 3 times with reports with him. Imagine the response of Professor Nimi Briggs debunking the lies of Adamu Adamu. There is no commitment from the side of the government. All this while, what has the Pro-Chancellors done now that government is inviting them to Abuja? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
About what you read on Punch this morning about the doctors that live in the country. So it is obvious that the rate of brain drain is greatly beyond overstatement in education and health sectors. So those doctors and academia, they are looking for greener pasture and survive in life, because every one of us, we want a better life. So the current federal government, they don't make life comfortable for the people, especially for those civil servants and the common people, through the lack of welfareism and people-oriented policy. But the major problem is that most of them, their political ideology is about their selfish interest, not people interest.
Thank you. The man that spoke about Unilorin should not misinform us. He's not telling the truth. Okay, General Babatunde, we got that. Thank you. Good morning to everybody in the studio. About the extension of ASU strike, it is barbaric that ASU and federal government still fail to come to a page to end this long strike. ASU need to be careful and put their house in order. Otherwise, I see some of the universities pulling out of the strike soon. God bless Nigeria. Raja Fiz Abidemi. We go that the masses has appreciated APC enough from their campaign, unfulfilled promises, 1 refinery per year, stable electricity for 24 years, a dollar equal to 1 naira, and negative change of life drama with retrogressive of next level of myriads of challenges facing Nigeria. This is much. Sulaiman Sharif. Okay, we got your message.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Balki is one audio from Nevada. Now, the federal government is saying that it met 80% of ASU's demand. ASU is saying otherwise. Who is lying between the two of them? From what we have known with ASU, even if they go on strike for a year, the moment they call off this strike, the federal government is going to pay them the backlog. The only people that will suffer in the end are these innocent Nigerian students. These are 2 elephants fighting, and these students are the innocent ones that will suffer their grass. One of them should try to shave the ground. Dele, I'm telling you, if this strike continues till next year election, some of these VCs will still be used as electoral officers. A lot of them are coming up with the claim that they are not participating in election. You are, either consciously or unconsciously, if they are on strike and some of their members were still used as electoral officers for the Osun and Ekiti election. ASU is not serious, and I think they are not even sincere in their demand.
Thank you, Balkis, for that. Loju Ebi.
Yes, ASU should also go back to the drawing boards, especially for state university. They may likely pull out. That's just the truth. Then somebody said those who do not work should not eat. What work as a politician? Our political officer, that what work have they done?
We need to go now. Olayinka Adetola wrote, Nigeria is passing through a period of Boko Haram.
All right, just before we leave the studio this morning, we want to say happy birthday to the mother of Professor Olu Ojedokun, Mrs. Janet Olufumilayo Ojedokun Noble, who has sacrificed so much for her children and ensured that after the loss of their father, they attended the best schools and were not just to the high standards. Happy birthday, Mrs. Janet Ojedokun.
And also saying a happy birthday to Adeolu Boyega, a friend and colleague in the industry.
Big boy of the radio.
Yes, so Adeolu, happy birthday to you from all of us. My name is OLUTAYO, OGUNADE.
My name is DELE ADEYANJU.
Bye for now.
Thank you.
You've never listened to radio like this before.
You can bet that you've never